Perfect. Welcome to now the third edition of Money Mindset Mastery Streams. It's going well so far. We're exploring various subjects. First week we explored financial freedom, abundance. In the last stream we explored the frequency of money, or fears of failure, or fears of success, or a relationship with money. That was a big one. I think we could talk about that one every stream. And now I want to talk about our relationship with money, with trading. So what we'll overview today is Trading in the Zone. It's an amazing book. Probably most of you guys have read it. There's some really neat concept to approach the market properly with the right mindset and with the right relationship with money as well. Because when you're too attached or too emotional with money, it doesn't serve you in trading. So we want to take these concepts and always bring them back to how can these make you a better investor and better trader. All right, so in Trading in the Zone, there's many core ideas. One is that markets are uncertain and anything can happen. So every trade has an uncertain outcome. And when you start trading, what usually happens is you get a good streak, you get lucky, you get good, and you get overconfident, and then for a while, things don't work out. And that's the hard part. It's how do you trade when your last trade is not working out, and your next trade is not working out too. So that's a core idea that's explored in the book, and no amount of analysis can eliminate that uncertainty. So successful traders, they fully accept uncertainty instead of fighting it. So when you're believing that anything can happen, it prevents fear, it prevents overconfidence, it prevents doubt or emotional decision making. So that's a really interesting core idea made in the book. And it's the same thing with your relationship with money. I think this core idea can apply to your life. You have to have the confidence that you'll find a resource to lead the kind of life that you want to lead. But unless you haven't identified what it is you want to do, it's going to be really hard to justify finding these resources. And it's the same thing in crypto. If you don't have clear goals of how much you want to make per week or per month trading, what do you want to be the results of your investments, what kind of percentage you want to make on your investments in Bitcoin or Ethereum on the medium or long term, it's gonna be hard to have like this proper mind frame, mindset system around trading. And so you got to get clear on your goals. And as I pointed out, here's the last mindset mastery recap. And we've talked about building a solid trading plan. But first of all, the main homework was to get specific about your financial goals and especially your crypto related goals. So how many of you here, if I can give it back to you guys a bit, how many of you here have clear financial goals first and then clear crypto goals? By a show of hand. Or maybe just type in the chat, yeah. Ahmad is typing. Let's see Phillips and Afro
Yes,
Sam
everybody else
type
is
as well.
thinking.
And
Yeah,
Arthur.
I'm curious what
You can
Afro has to write and
just
Phillips
say
and
yes or no to two
Ed
question,
and
and there's no shame about it. You could say, it's somewhat clear or it's totally unclear. Let's get honest with ourselves today. Maybe I can share mine. I think in my life, my financial goals is really nicely identified, but recently my crypto goals got a bit more cloudy. So I'll definitively have to work on something more defined. Since like 2 months, it's October, the market's been tougher. So my goals haven't been totally met. So I need to get clear on how I can reach my goals and what kind of system I can use or what can I change to reach those goals. Yeah, that's great. Ed's saying used to need to update them as I hit my 2025 goals already. Phillips Flathead says, I'd say I do, but I haven't done step by step planning, but I do know where I want to end up. Perfect. And there's something magical about putting a number on it. So it's just like having a clear number on your goals. That's definitively gonna help, especially since we're turning in 2026 now. It's a great period, the end of December, to get clear on your destiny. Ahmad is saying, my financial goal is to get to 200, 500K and then chill. However, my crypto goals is the first goal is to get to 20K. Now, after that, I focus completely on the business that me and my friends are building with just taking high conviction trades only. Perfect. So I love how Ahmad is a mix of real life and crypto, and how also crypto can benefit the real life goals. And I think that's a part where a lot of people don't have clarity as well. Like, okay, I want to make this round number in crypto. Usually it's a big round number, like 100K or 500K. But why exactly? What's the lifestyle behind that? What do you want to buy with that? How much are you extracting into a TradFi account every month to live the kind of life you want to live? I'll give an example. For me, I want to travel most of 2026. I'm already planning to do 3 months across Asia, and I want just my trading to provide everything I need. And I've took 3 4 months in there just to trade full time and live the life, enjoy the summer and whatnot. So to me, it's more about a freedom of lifestyle, working from anywhere, working shorter hours, not having a boss, and then generating enough money to live.
I just want to add something
Yeah, sure, go for it.
to what Nico was saying. Nico, you're absolutely right. I definitely agree with you. And surely, there's different stages to getting what you're saying right now. Some people, for example, could be in a stage of accumulation, right? So some people could be in a stage of not only accumulating wealth, but accumulating knowledge. And I just want to add what Nico is saying is absolutely right. I agree with him 1000%. Maybe some of you who are not there or are there, or maybe this speaks to some of you here. I'm pretty sure there's also people out there who just want to get a regular job in order to build maybe confidence, maybe more knowledge and skills so that they could move down the line to what Nico is saying, just in case that nobody didn't. And even if you're there, that's totally fine. We have all have been there. And ironically enough, as weird as it sounds, I'm also entering the same phase. Even though I'm finally, how do I say, in my life doing what I want to do, and I have my freedom, and I have my basic, should I say, allowance to move anywhere where I want to. Yet still, in the certain spheres where I'm going myself with my goals, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people here, you will always possibly find yourself in a position where you say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe that 9 to 5 is not that bad when you're looking to expand and add knowledge to get to the goal down the line. Everything is a sacrifice." That's all I wanted to add to that part. Nico, back to you, bro.
Yeah, interesting point. Thank you. Let's read some more comments. Um, Ed saying, "What do you think about not trading at all once you hitting your yearly goal? I hit my yearly goal in July, but then I just kept on trading for the rest of the year. People I know who trade stock told me to just take time off." I'd say to that, it's like poker, when you're a good streak, why stop? Especially if you're passionate and if you like it. If you don't like it, you can handle it. I'd say take a break if you're feeling some fatigue. But if it's going well, just keep on going, and then you can have some evolve your goals, and just make sure that you stick that to who you want to be, what you want to do, and what kind of lifestyle you want to have. So keep going, keep doing well, and maybe it's because your goals were too not too small, but maybe you're underestimated yourself a bit. So don't underestimate yourself, and don't be afraid to have big goals and to completely flip your life on its head, and be be the best version of yourself. I'm at the
Absolutely.
same.
I agree with Nico.
Yeah,
Can I just add one
yeah,
more thing? I
absolutely.
just want to let you guys know that if anybody ever tells you that your goals are too big or unachievable, please, for the love of God, ignore them, okay? Nobody else knows what's inside of your heart. And possibly you could try to explain to others, but they won't know the seed that you have planted. They cannot see the tree that you're about to grow. It's like the bamboo tree. I don't know if anybody knows how the bamboo tree grows, but for those who don't, you have to water it for 5 years every day straight while it's underground and it's not growing. It's not moving. So you have to water it every day, every day, every day, every day. And then just one fine day, it literally explodes to the sky, right? So this is exactly the same thing, you know? And with that being said, don't let other people put you down. Don't let their lack of imagination stop you. And also one more thing I see here, people like Ahmed said, I would like to get 500K and chill for a couple of months. This is great. I just want to add to that that for all the people who want to make a larger sum of money, please make steps. Like plan your steps out. You have to plan your step or how you're doing things from 0 to 20,000, then from 20,000 to 50,000, then from 50,000 to 100,000, and all the way to 500. You have to have all of your steps pre-planned. Of course, they will change in reality, but you have to have a plan and a clean goal so that you know where you're going. Usually people, if they fail, they only fail because they give up. But the reason because they failed is not because they gave up, but because they didn't have the clarity of their path. It's like you're saying, hey, my dream is to climb a mountain and get at the very peak of it, but you don't have the plan of where you're going to fly, which mountain it's going to be, which road you're going to take. So you have to study the road. You have to see how steep it is. What gear do you need? Maybe you need different shoes. Maybe you need blankets. This is exactly what that preparation is for. Back to you, buddy.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Good insights here, definitely. Phillips Flathead is saying, currently been working on my daily schedule routine and tweaking it to give myself the right amount of time for each task throughout my day. Next up, we'll be planning my mid to long term time frames and breaking that up into stepping stones that'll get me there. I'll also add to this, begin with the end in mind. What's the end scenario looking like? Then you can deconstruct it as Shem just said. So begin with what's it looking like once everything is together. What's the ideal lifestyle? Am I trading? How much time am I spending on trading? How much time I'm spending with family? How much time I'm spending watching my investment in gold and in stocks? How much time I'm spending making money? How much of that money I'm putting towards saving? How much of that money I'm putting towards traveling? So begin with that end in mind, the full picture. I call this lifestyle design. So design your ideal lifestyle and then break it down to how much will it cost in time, energy, and money. And then you can figure out how to allocate your days and your weeks. So you'll put the big stone first, and then the smaller stone, and then the grain of sands, and then you can complete that with the rest. Because if you try to put the grain of sands first in the bowl, and then you put like the small rocks, well, it's gonna fill up the bowl, and you won't have room for the big rocks, the big things. So put the big things in first, and then you can put the small things, and then the grain of sand is gonna fill up the rest. Hope that helps. Ed is saying, would setting quarterly goals be better than yearly as I can adjust them more often? Example, let's say I complete quarterly goals in 2 months, then I can take off 1 month for reflection. I'd say having a big goal, it could be yearly, it could be a certain amount, and breaking it down will definitively help and relieve pressure about like trading every day, because trading and investing, the number one thing that can work in your favor is time and patience. So if you have like say a goal to make 100K per year, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take one trade every 2 days. Well, most of the 100Ks could come in a 1 quarter, so you don't know how the next quarter are gonna turn out. So don't stop if you're in a good run. I'd say stopping is more like, when you're in a bad run and you want to reflect and pause and make sure your emotion is not stopping you. But this is true for a good run as well, like not getting overconfident. So I think the pause would be more about hitting a certain streak of loss or wins, as to make sure that these traits don't affect your next ones. So I wouldn't think of pausing in terms of time. I would think of pausing in terms of win streak and losing streak. But having quarterly goals, I think, is more realistic. Then you can adjust, and there's definitely quarters that are horrible and quarters that are really good. So if the quarter is really good, don't stop there, because you don't know if the three next quarters are gonna turn up or not. But if you're satisfied, I mean, it's important to find your level of satisfaction in life too. There's people that have like 10 millions, 30 millions, that they're not happy, they're not satisfied. Identify what is it that life looks like when you get to your goals. And I think what the main aspect of transforming yourself in life is things that don't require money. It's like physical strength. It's like being healthy, being happy, being emotionally stable. These are the things you cannot buy. Having great family, having great friends, having great relationship. So these are the things that no amount of money can really buy. So just use that money to free up your time, and then invest that time wisely, and that's gonna help you define your goals, I think. Hope that
This is really
helps.
cool what you're saying.
Yeah, go for it,
I
Jim.
think that Vic and Ed really understand, because while you were talking about it and deconstructing the plan, Vic says he basically takes care of his time frame quarterly a year, and Ed said the same thing. Similarly, he's like, it seems like balance between keep going and resting, just to be aware where you're going and how things are working out. But it's interesting to see there's a few people who are literally on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's perfect. So Philip Flat says adding some types of bamboo grown on feet per day as well. It's crazy. That was a really great example. My approach to life is TCG, which means the continuous growth. I love processes. I love growing. I love being a better self every day, and doing the same for others, helping others be the best version of themselves. That's really my X. That's really my big why. So to me, it's the symbol of that is a tree. Okay, so this tree you can nourish, and there's multiple phases to that tree. And the winter, it doesn't have any leaves here. It's like a bit looking bland or almost dead. But in the summer, it's really extraordinary, and there's phase in the autumn and in spring. So there's phases to life, and that's how I see it. And you just gotta love the process that you're building for yourselves. So if you have a good process, then you'll want to keep going because it's working well. And if your process are not working for you, if they're stressing you out, if they're tiring you, if you're not happy, then that's when you need a break. Lucas is saying, what's the approximate size of trading account that you guys use to live your style of life? Of That's a tongue twister. Your life
Yeah, that's
Lucas is
that's a
out
good
there
question.
testing my English. Um,
Yeah.
this question, I think, is different for everyone. I know me and Shem, we live like a simple lifestyle. We are not overly like show off with our money, our clothes or blings or and stuff like that. So to me, I can live on a really small budget. So you gotta identify what type of lavish and comfort do you want, and be aware that every extra comfort you're trading for time and energy. So find the right balance for yourself. There's people that are happy with 3,000, 5,000 a month, and there's others that needs 20,000 a month because they live like a super lavish lifestyle, or they give a lot of gift to different people, or they have a tendency to really like flashy cars and flashy watches and stuff like that. So just find your ideal lifestyle, build your lifestyle, and if that's what you want to do, have the nice suit, have the Lamborghini, it's fine, you know. But you have it because you enjoy it and not because you deduct your identity from it, you know. In Fight Club, which is my favorite movie, there's a phrase that says, "The thing you own end up owning you." So don't let this lifestyle own you. You can enjoy it, but be be wary about how your lifestyle is controlling you and not the other way around.
I love that phrase. I love that phrase for many reasons. Not only because I love the movie, and I think the movie is great and probably one of the best movies that I've ever watched. I wouldn't. Maybe in the category of my favorites, but what Lucas is saying here is great because he's talking about the lifestyle you live off of, right? And it's interesting. As Nico said, I definitely agree. We are the humble type of guys, and just for everybody here, like I'm a type of a guy who's building his cabin in the woods. Like I'm building a tiny cabin in the woods, and I don't care. But guys, don't. For those who don't know it, never make the mistake of not wanting to spend over taking care of yourself. So if your vision is that you have to look nice, but when I say have to look nice, it doesn't mean that you have to. As in, like you really have a style and you like it and you want to go for it, then go for it. If this is a goal, if this is something that you're going for, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. There's absolutely no shame in spending to get a nice car as long as it's not for flexing. And when I say nice car, I mean genuinely, we all know that high quality cars or quote unquote nicer cars sometimes cost a little bit more. They cost a little bit more, and now we're talking for quality, not show off, right? Because of the quality, right? So if all these things resonate with you, by all means, just like Nico said as well, go for it. If this is a style that you need to achieve in a place where you want to get, definitely do that. Just don't be the overspender. And this is really interesting. I remember having a client that I was taking care of from the Emirates, and we were working on a couple of deals. And basically, he came to me and he said, like I need to make more money. I don't have enough money for everything that he's going. And I flew into Dubai. I got to his place. This guy had five Lambos, guys. This guy had five Lambos. He had people working for. He was spending so much money, and I was just like, I looked at him, and we were going through his finances and everything. I'm like, do you know how much you spend? And this guy legit didn't know how much he spent. So at the end of the day, in 60 days, we have completely refinanced his expenses, and it turns out he didn't need a job. I mean, as in, like, he didn't need more income. He just needed to properly manage what he already had and stop throwing it left and right. And this is exactly what Nico is saying. It's like, if you buy too many things and if you just like get all these things, you don't have freedom anymore. It's an illusion. You think you have freedom, but now you're bound by five Lambos that you would have to repair or take care of. Like for most people who don't know, changing a set of wheels on a Lamborghini costs 20,000 euros or dollars. Most of the people don't know this, right? So that's a serious expense you have to have, right? So yeah, exactly as Nico said, take care of your finance. Make sure you write down your goals of who you want to become and how much it costs to get that nice suit and all these things that you need to have, but don't overspend or Nico's phrase will come and haunt you.
And I was thinking when Shem was talking, I was thinking if money is a stress, trading will be stressful. I've traded with money coming in, and I've traded that my trades are like do or die. I need to eat because this I'm trading my all my expense. It's definitively a different concept of like being a full time trader and just living off that and having other active or passive income. So define what kind of risk taker you are and what's your relationship with money, but it'll definitively silently affect your trade. If your money situation in life is not set up properly, your trading situation will depend on that, and you won't even see it. It's going to be so deeply ingrained in your subconscious. You'll be like, how come, like, I they made a call, that call did like plus 20%, but I lost 5% because I didn't take my profit properly, but I was thinking this stop loss was going to turn around, and now I'm losing on a winning trade. It's just your own mindset, your own approach, and your own relationship with money. So the money mindset mastery is really essential in becoming a better investor and a better trader. Ed is saying, personally, I have 10% of my entire portfolio for living and savings and 30% for trading. That's perfect. Then I spend max 10% of that living section per month and adjust how much money is in each bucket every month. I like the keyword here is bucket, is thinking in terms of separating expense in different categories and knowing, okay, this is my active revenue and these are my passive revenues. And I think the goal for everyone to reach financial freedom is turning most active revenues into passive ones, being real estate, stocks. You can have like crypto, investing passively like every month into Bitcoin and having the returns on this and selling at tops. It's a bit active, but it's mostly passive. And then trading can be active, obviously. So figure out how much you're winning actively and how much you're winning passively, and try to shift the balance to passive, because passive is gonna really free up your life to live it how you want. And even $5,000 in passive income every month can really let you make better decision and say no to a lot of things, so that you have the energy and time to say yes to other things. So that's one thing. So having identified your active and passive revenues and knowing exactly how much money is coming in, then your relationship with money is going to be better, because what you measure, you improve. So you need to measure this. You need to be disciplined about measuring what comes in your budget and what comes out every week, every month. And having these buckets really help separating everything. So I know my fixed amount of money for my fixed expense, and I know my variable expense in like clothing and amongst other stuff like that. So when you have that identified and locked down, you can say, okay, am I prioritizing something that's not super important for me? Or my priority is like putting money aside to invest in real estate and putting money aside to trade, and then having some money to travel and some money to give to my family and people around me. So I think identifying all this is gonna definitively improve your relationship with money and put you on the right frequency of money. Shem, do you have something to add on this?
Yeah, let me just type a
If you want.
comment. All
Sure.
right, so I'm just saying here, I'm reading a lot of the stuff that people are saying here,
Sure, let's
and
go, Carlos.
everyone's kind of like adding things to what you're saying. Some people are adding with a little bit of a joke, but I like it. I really like it. I like the humor in the group. But Ahmed said that 2 years ago he wrote on his Notion app what exactly of a lifestyle he wanted to be living, and and this is so true. It's like a lot of people who really want to like live a certain lifestyle, sometimes they forget. It's like it's so easy for us to get caught up in this dichotomy of wanting more, because when you get at a certain place and you're there, you're like, but now I want this other thing, where you see this other cool guy and it's like, oh, I want to be just like him, and you keep working to get there, which in the essence is not bad. It's really cool, but a lot of people stop to stop. They don't know how to stop and just look around them and say, holy crap, I've achieved everything I ever wanted. As in, like, people forget to stop and look around them, like really look around them. Like Nico was talking about Fight Club, but one of my favorite movies is Dead Poet Society. And in the movie Dead Poet Society, this is exactly what Mr. Keats is teaching them when he teaches them poetry. and he talks about the favorite phrase "carpe diem" because they're actually reading the whole poem where you have to stop and seize the day, look around you, understand that you're alive, that you're vibrating, that all these things that you have achieved, they're there. You're there. You're like a lot of you here didn't know how to trade. You didn't even know how to maybe put a line on the graph when you were looking at it and it was intimidating and you were thinking, oh my God, what the hell is this now? But look at you guys now. You guys now are posting really, really good returns in the what's it called, in the win group, and everyone's doing so well. And if you go through the general chat and active call chats, everyone's helping each other. Ed notices something, he shares it. And then Mo is like, oh, but I noticed this. And then Jose comes out of nowhere. He sees something else. Salu, Vic, Philip. This is exactly what, pretty sure a lot of you guys wanted to be or wanted to have. I mean, sure, maybe you might not be exactly where you wanted to be, but stopping for a second, looking around, seizing that moment, understanding that you're there, really, really, really helps. Back to you, buddy.
Yes. So Lucas is saying, thanks for the advice, guys. My main goal is for money to not be a stress in my life. After I had that is where I set my even higher goals, one level at a time. I think you should start with your higher self. You should start with your higher goals and not be shy about saying that money is not a stress anymore in your life because you're putting power into currently money is a stress. How about currently money is not, and life is gonna find abundant way to bring you what you want and bring you what you need once you get full clarity and are intentional in reaching your goals. Once you get that clarity on those goals, I saw Ahmad sharing his goal, and one thing was missing is the big why. Why do you want goals? What's the emotion behind it? It was kind of in the text afterwards that was good, but let's be clear on the big why and exactly what kind of lifestyle you want to live, and then just ask life to bring you the proper challenge and the proper opportunities to reach those goals. But if you decide to wake up today and be like, okay, money is not a stress anymore, money is going to come. It's just going to be a matter of time. I just have to do the right thing. And for money to come, I just have to be the best version of myself. So, what do I need to work on? Okay, I need to work on my physical self, my emotional self, my spiritual self. Um, and then you improve as a person and you vibrate on a higher level and you attract these kinds of opportunity, better people, better things in your life. So money doesn't have to be a stress. You can change that mindset today at this right at this minute. Let's read more comments.
Absolutely. Guys, yes, while you read the comments, please never forget. Remember, you are in control of your life. You're in control of what's happening inside of your head, right? Which means that if you want to make money, don't think about it. For those who don't understand, just don't think about it. If you really want the money, make the goal, deconstruct it from the top all the way to bottom to getting to that 11 million, 5 million, whatever the sum is, deconstruct it slowly, step by step, and forget about it. Don't think about it. Because the moment you obsess about something, you're lacking it. And when you're lacking it, you're just radiating this lacking energy because lacking energy is a wanting energy. Have you ever seen like a guys who really want to get a girl and they can never get a girl? Why do you think that the guys who really want to get a girl, they can never get a girl? But the guys who don't care about the girls, they have like not one girl, they have like five girls and another five waiting for him because of the energy of understanding what to want and how not to think about it. Probably that guy who doesn't care about the girls, of course he likes them and he wants them, and it's not like that he secretly wants them. He just understands that if he is in the energy of lack, he's not going to have them. So it's the same with the goals of money or understanding how to, do the TradFi, DeFi sector of the world. It's the same thing. Make your goals, deconstruct them, and don't focus. Don't be. I always like to say, be too busy building that you can't think that you don't have the money. If you find yourself in a situation where you're too busy building, you will get there. This is a great conversation I had with Nobody's 369. And it's like, I remember when I used to work as a waiter and a barman, this is the best job I ever had in my life. And today, I can, if anybody asks me what is the best job you had in your life, it's being a waiter or a barman at a busy place. Because I used to live next to the sea on the beach, and when you're just like there and you're serving cocktails nonstop from the moment you enter the job till the moment you leave, you never think about your life. I used to end my shift and I used to work for 16 hours, guys, without a break, 12 hours, 16 hours more. When we did caterings, I used to actually, I did like wedding caterings for 3 days without sleep. We would sleep in like windows of half an hour and then exchange each other. This is how brutal the work is. But as brutal as this was the best part of my life. And the reason being is I was so busy working. I didn't have 1 second to think about me, my life, my school, my situation, nothing. Nothing. I would finish my work and it's just like I was thrown back out of the matrix and I'm like, oh my God, I exist. I can look at my skin and I'm like, wait a second, I have problems, you know? But the reality is like I was too busy soaked with the work, with the job, with getting the orders fulfilled from coffees to cocktails that I was so busy building what I was building there that I didn't have time to think about real life. And that made me understand, all right, this is the success. This is the formula. This is the secret. This is the thing. This is the secret sauce. This is the maple syrup of my life. This is what everybody has been talking about. Because the moment you're too busy building and building the roadblock to getting to where you are, you don't get to think about what you don't have and what you really want, and you don't lack it. You have this super cool vibe that everybody wants to come and just chill out with this barman. Have you ever thought that like a lot of barmans and people who work there are so chill, and you would go to a bar and all of a sudden you'll find it so cool that you really want to talk to this guy and you want to ask him things and communicate with him because he doesn't have the lacking mindset when he's busy. He's too busy doing his orders. He's too busy doing all these things that he has to do that all of a sudden he becomes attractive. Not necessarily like as a person, but you get what I mean. It's like the energy that is there.
Yeah, the
But yeah,
energy.
back to you,
The
Nico.
maple syrup was a funny part, but we cannot get the maple syrup out of the Canadians. Um, the energy and what been reading from Lucas, I've been trying to get out of money stressed life since I was 17. I'll hit it soon, I know it. You're almost there. But the key thing here is soon. You need to live in the present. You need to read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and be in the present. Right now, at this second, do you have a roof over your head? Did you eat today? If you did, even if you have debts and other worries and stuff you gotta buy for a kid, maybe and things like that, okay, but that's in the future. So now, do you have a stress? And you have to reconnect with the power of now, and be in control of what you can control. And there's a phrase that's really good: is fake it till you make it. Same thing with trading. Maybe you're at a certain level of trading, but act and do as a pro trader will. If you're in a trade, be like, if someone was a pro at this, what would they be doing? Would they be looking at trading view for 8 hours, or they would be spending 2 hours journaling their trade, 2 hours back testing their theories, 2 hours networking with other traders and seeing other insights? So always think in terms of the person you want to be, but in the now, it's really important to act is as if uh, life brought you everything that you need, and that's a really important part of mastery. So it's not for nothing that the phrase "fake it till you make it" exists. It's really a concept that works. Reconnect to the power of now. Reconnect to yourself and say, okay, I don't have any money stress because I have a game plan. I have clear intentions. My goals are based on a definitive big why that's important to me, that's authentic, and I'm connected to that energy. I'm attracting this, so I'm not lacking because it's coming. It's already basically in my bank account. It's just a matter of me doing the steps, and that way you'll connect to something much stronger. So let's read more comments.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I just don't like that phrase. I wrote in the chat that I don't like that phrase. Not because how do I say? You're not wrong. But the phrase is wrong. The wording is wrong. It's like Do you like you Nico, you as a person who's like educated in this matter, and not only educated in this matter, but you also have life experience, because we all know that practice and theory sometimes or most of the times don't go together. So we need that section where the practice and theory meet each other. And you're one of those people who actually has mastered this in his life, right? Which is amazing. So, talking to you about this, you do understand how the wording of the phrase "fake it till you make it" is wrong. Because you have to be busy. You have to be really busy and being in that energy, that it's like you're not faking it. You're just not thinking about it. But it's okay. I mean, I understand that people want to use this phrase. Maybe I'm too, what's the word? Maybe I'm too strict about it. I just don't like to use incorrect wording. Is that the right way to say it? I
Yeah.
guess I,
Maybe the wording
whatever.
is incorrect, but the concept behind it is assuming you already have it, and I think that's the core concept behind it. It's like pretending you already own it, you're already having it, you're already attracting it, and there's solution are gonna come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ahmad is saying, how long you guys been in
Let's
this
see
self
what.
improvement journey? I've been in this since 15 and now I'm 18. So I think it's great. You're in the ripe age of like being a man and finding your how you want to navigate life. And some people are 40 or 50 or 70 and they never wake up to their potential. They never wake up to this. So it's extraordinary that you're already working on yourself like this. So props to you, Matt. Ed is saying one thing I would recommend everyone think about, which was tough for me personally, is thinking of how you would live your life if you don't work at all. As it's easy to just constantly be stuck in the game and keep making money and not thinking of the end game. Exactly. You need to think. Thinking is your best attribute, and people are not using it enough to think and be in silence. I think most of your problems can be solved with 30 minutes to an hour of silence with a paper and a pen. And if you get clear, you get that clarity, you connect with your deeper self, your authentic self, you'll find solutions. Because you're already whole, you're already 100% it. And sometimes we go about living life like we're not enough, or we're not whole, or there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing. But it's always inward first. There's nothing on the outside world that can complete you. You're already whole, you already have all the answers. They're just in deep layers of some consciousness. So I think that work with yourself, that work in silence, that clarity is essential to fix not only your relationship with money, to be a better trader, to be a better person, but to get clear on what you want out of life, out of this experience, this unique experience we're all living. And yeah, there's like you guys saying in chat, it's good to sometimes pause and reflect. There's the get busy phase, but I think at the end of the year, end of December for me, is always a phase of reflection, of pondering, of identifying what kind of lifestyle do I want to live. Is my current lifestyle aligned with my money goals, with my relationship goals, with my friendship goals, with my physical self, my emotional self, my spiritual self? So take that time to strategize. Sebs is saying, I think it's not bad to keep wanting more because that's part of the game of life, but actually, we really don't need that much. But not wanting everything maybe unlocks every material thing because that detachment attracts everything when nothing owns us. Exactly. So that's why I really like the phrase, the things you end up owning you. You can use them, but they don't own you. And there's a big difference there. You don't detract your personality from them. I have a friend that has a well-paying job, and to feel better after a stressful days, you need to buy a new designer shirt. And why does he have that need? So he's kind of getting owned a bit by this personality. While you can put me on the beach with just some shirt on, and I think my personality is how I'm gonna treat myself and how I'm gonna treat others, and what I'm gonna do in my day to better myself and better others. So my validation comes from me, it doesn't come from the external factors. So I think validation is another key component of being a good person. Where does your validation comes from? and being a good trader as well. Because if your validation comes from winning a trade, well, you're fucked, because how much validation are you going to get when you're losing one? I think your validation should come from having a proper system and improving it every day. And then once you're in a trade, you have no emotional connection to it and no validation. It's just the market being neutral, telling you, hey, you win this time, or hey, you lose this time. So be really careful about validation and how you build it and how you set up yourself around validations. So I think it applies to market too. And this is why some people struggle with a few losing trades, or they struggle and get overconfident after a few winning trades, because they're being validated by the experience rather by than by themselves and the processes. At the
Oh
same,
man, you're killing it right now. You're killing it right now. I think this is the epiphany, the most important part of the conversation. Having the right validation completely changes the game.
nice. I'll take some notes around this. Thank you. And I think I was in the flow because I kept speaking and watching your maple syrup emoji, so that really turned on my Canadian power.
You see, I told you the secret sauce is the maple sauce.
I put maple syrup in my milk. I shake my protein shake every morning. Just starts the day right. Ed is saying literally just bought The
Honestly,
Power of Now the other day. Heard lots of great things about it. It's an amazing book. Really helps you connect with yourself. Um, Now you guys are speaking. Philip's saying we all
I don't
really
blame
have the
you. I
wealth
think I'm
we
gonna.
want. It's just
Yeah,
winning
go ahead. Go
us
ahead.
in the
Doesn't matter. Go
form
ahead.
of discipline, consistency, knowledge, and direction. We just need to transform those things into our end goals. That's very well said. That's very well summarized there. Fire emoji. Lucas is saying, I'm very thankful for how my life has turned out. I am physically in the best shape of my life that I've ever been in. Now I have a fiance. My mental clarity is very good. I'm excited to wake up every day and try harder to hit the rest of my goals. Yeah, that's great, Lucas, and congrats on building what you've built. Maybe there's experience in your life that shook you. You know, family members, the environment, growing ups, the own bias and beliefs of people around us. These are very important to kind of get away from and form our own, because our family and friends growing up can really affect you. You know, we spoke about this in the last stream, or relationship with money growing up, now, and in the future. So you can go watch the recording. There was a summary of exercise you can do to really dig deep into what's your subconscious relationship with money, your subconscious relationship with your family. How's that affecting you? How's that affecting your goals, or the person you want to be or shaping up into? Because oftentimes it's people around us uh, shaping us into something they want us to be, but not necessarily what we want for ourselves. So I'd say really get clear on who you want to be, and doesn't matter if it's your dad or mom that you're disappointing, but you got to be happy with yourself and your decision. So I think the rest of your goals, you're really well set to reach them, Lucas, because you've built this life for yourself. And I think it's also totally starts with your physical health. Without that, you cannot have the mental health. So spending time each day to have that physical health in order, that mental health, is not only going to help your life, but it's going to make you a better trader. And that's why in the group we're not just focused on call, we're focusing on these type of stream with your money mindset mastery. Yesterday, CD did a stream about removing emotions on trading. We have a whole part about health and performance, of training, nutrition, mindset, quotes, but the books we're reading. So I think trading goes beyond just numbers on the chart. It's really, um, how can I say? It's really transforming you. It's like an onion, and you're peeling the layers, and you find your true selves. When you're trading, you really go at the core of you, who you are, really. And if you can improve that core and make it more authentic and make it more the way you like, it's definitively gonna help your trading 100%. Back to you, Shem. Maybe you have something to add on this, or you wanna transition to another topic.
I mean, honestly, Philip has really, really hit it hard, and I agree with him. The whole transition and the form of discipline and consistency and the knowledge and the direction of the energy extremely important. And then again, you really hit the point with validation. Validation is a strong factor. I've actually seen a lot of good traders lose it because of wrong validation. And where good traders would become bad traders or change professions and they would say, oh, this was shit or this wasn't good or da 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 da. But in reality, they were really smashing. They were on a path of becoming amazing trader, but they only were stopping themselves failing or quote unquote changing profession just because of the validation. You know, it's very important to understand and realize what what really validates and drives your life. And many times in our life people make bad decisions and they say that something is bad or not good without actually realizing that that thing is fantastic and it's amazing, but it's the validational point of that actual thing which forces them not to see the reality. So the fact that we're touching upon this subject and we're going so deep in it and discussing it here and reading it through comments back and forth, I want to say, you know what? I would be extremely happy if we touch this again in future
Yeah,
calls because I feel that most of the people here, including you and me, Nico, we
yeah, this is a
agree with what
great
you
topic
said.
and
I
it's
definitely agree with a
really
lot of people.
essential. And I think it's a
Yeah,
perfect conclusion to what Philip said. He just resumed it perfectly. I'll read it again. We already have the wealth we want. It's just within us in the form of discipline, consistency, knowledge, and direction. I'll say clarity on top of that. We just need to transform those things into our end goals. Yes, so be very clear about the end. So when I said begin with the end in mind, you begin there in your life, in your physical health, in your relationship, in your trading, and your investing. So I have specific goals for this, and you'll really reach them. Otherwise, what you cannot measure, you cannot improve. Great stream. I think we've hit the nails on this one. They're getting better and better, and thanks to all those that participated as well. I hope this is going to improve you not only as a trader, not only as an investor, but as a person, and that you'll really find the best version of yourselves throughout this community and really grow with us, and that we can help each other be the best version of ourselves and really reach our goals and having this tight community to do it. So I'm really glad you guys are here. Thank you for participating in the stream. Um, really great chat today for all that, for everyone. Sham too. Thank you for being there.
yeah. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for having this great discussion. And you know, as whatever discussion that you have or we have, I just hope that we can go deep into these subjects like we did this time. I think you're right. This time we really let the flow take us, and you know, it's exactly as you said. This conversation goes deep. To some, it might be obvious, but even quote unquote, if we're having an obvious conversation from time to others, it isn't. But even to us, who it could be obvious, it does open all these different spectrums of things that we didn't, you know, think of or discuss. So either way, it's a win-win-win situation, right? So I'd like to thank everyone for joining and being part of the stream. And is there anything else you want to add, Nico?
Yeah,
How do we
I'll add
close
two
this?
takeaway
Or
questions. I have to. I really love takeaway homeworks. Two questions that might seem simple, but you can do like a couple page on each. Is first, do you have clarity on your goals in general and in crypto? We touched on this the last stream, but I think it needs to be worked on still. And the second question is, where does your validation comes from? You know, in different aspect of life. So ponder on that, get silent, use a pen and paper, just go outside and breathe the fresh air, take a walk, think about it, or sit outside with pen and paper, look at nature and think for yourselves, and the last thing I'll say is all the solution are inside of you already. You're not lacking anything.
I just want to add to that. I think this is great. The fact that you have given takeaway questions is the what is the clarity of your goals. I just want to add two tasks to those questions, and the task I will write it down. Task number one will be what is your exact goal? So like crystallize that.
Mm-hmm.
And B is create a plan step by step to achieving that goal. There we go.
Perfect.
So we got two questions, two tasks.
Excellent. So, with that said, without further ado, let's get on to trading. Let's get on to our days. We'll be in the chat. Do share in Mindset Mastery if you want to share with the community. I think sometimes it helps. I've seen many people do so and have some certain like haha moment where they really grow. And goals always do better when they're out there in the world, when you're not shy about them, you know. So keep sharing them with everyone. Speak your goals on every rooftop to anyone that wants to hear them, and don't bother with their opinion. Just do you. All right, perfect. So the recording worked well. Thank you for joining us.